Hey guys, look, it's a dumb idiot. Surprise, I'm actually a Detroit Tigers fan. Still a dumb idiot. So, if you guys didn't know from my previous videos, I never talked about it, but if you've seen shirts I would wear sometimes, I'm a Detroit Tigers fan. I have been since 2011. And, of course, that was the glory days of the Tigers, when they were really good. In 2012, they went to the World Series. Of course, they got swept by the Giants, but what are you going to do? And I just got a notification that the Tigers lost to the Angels 8-2. So this is perfect. So I'm making this video because I've never made a Tigers video before. I'm gonna try to make some more often, just like probably once a week, saying, "Oh, this happened during these games." Common theme for 2020. I'm sorry. Started out 8-24, terrible. We've been doing really good since. Still can't beat the Guardians. They're still the Indians. I'm not calling them the Guardians until the next season starts, or when this season ends. Because when the season ends, then they'll officially be the Guardians. They're still the Indians, though. We can't beat the Indians still. White Sox are doing very good, which is a surprise because they're usually pretty bad. The Rays, Red Sox, Astros are doing good, unsurprisingly. Who knows if the Astros are actually cheating or not. The Dodgers are unsurprisingly doing good. NL East is a mess. None of the teams are really that good. Kind of like the NFC. Did I say NFC East? I meant to say NL East. Jeez, I'm used to football. So, basically, this video is just talking about how I feel about the Tigers this season. So, this has been a pretty good year. I think we're 58-63 right now. We were 58-62 when I started making this, and then we just lost. Now we're at 63, which isn't good. It's under 500. But if you're a Tigers fan, this is good because of all the crap that they've been for the past few years. So, especially in 2018. Or 2019, whatever year it was, when they lost I think it was 2019, where they lost 114 games. Very bad. It was the worst they've been since 2003, when they lost 119 games. So, basically, for the Tigers, usually the Tigers are not a good team. But if we rewind back 10 years, that is the complete opposite. In the late 2000s and the early 2010s, the Tigers were one of the best teams in the MLB. Would consistently go to the playoffs and do well in it. In 2010, they didn't make the playoffs. In 2011, they lost in the ALCS against the Rangers. In 2012, they lost in the World Series against the Giants. In 2013, they lost in the ALCS against the Red Sox. And in 2014, they lost in the ALDS against the Orioles. And that is the last time the Tigers have been to the postseason. 2014. It has been 7 years. 7 years since the Tigers have been to the postseason. It's still going to be the same. They're not going to go this year. But very nice to see. This has been a very refreshing season, because by this point the Tigers are usually one of the worst teams. They would probably have like 80 some losses already, but they only have like 60. They're almost at 500. Third place. We're in second place for a little bit, but can't beat Cleveland ever, so how are we gonna expect to stay in second place? The White Sox are definitely gonna win the AL Central this year. They've been a really very good team. Very good team. I bet White Sox fans are very happy because the White Sox are usually garbage. The White Sox didn't even make the playoffs a single time in the 2010s. From 2010 to 2019, they didn't go at all. For the Tigers, it's been almost a decade since the playoffs, but hopefully it'll change. By the way the season has been going, it's actually giving me optimism for the future, which is very surprising to say as a Detroit fan. So, we still have Miguel Cabrera, who's been with the team for a very long time. Thought he was washed up, but he's been having a pretty good season this year. He's one home run away from 500 home runs in his career as of when I'm making this, which is really good. And all of our other players doing good. Jonathan Scope's having a good year. Candelario's doing good. Akil Baddoo's doing great as a rookie. Of course, he did suffer that concussion last week when he ran to Derek Hill, which wasn't good at all. Pitching has been pretty good. Tariq Skubal had a pretty terrible start, but he started out like 0-7, and now he's 8-10. Casey Mize is doing pretty decent. We remember when Urania used to pitch, he didn't do good. Spencer Turnbull's my favorite pitcher on the team, but injuries have been preventing him to play. But he did pitch a no-hitter against Seattle back in May. So at least we have that. At least he did that in this season. But overall, Turnbull hasn't really done anything. But Tyler Alexander, every time he comes in, we seem to lose. So I don't really. He's not really. He's like okay. But Tariq Skubal has been the most surprising player so far. He has completely turned around this season. He was terrible at the beginning, and then now he's completely turned it around. He is 8-3 since his 0-7 start, which is a really good turnaround. And Matthew Boyd, he doesn't really play anymore. Michael Fulmer's a reliever now. He used to be our starting pitcher. Now we don't really start him anymore. I'm kind of glad we're not really starting Matthew Boyd anymore because he was never good. I mean, he did have a good chance for the Cy Young that one year, but recently he's just been awful. And our new manager, A.J. Hinch, has been doing a pretty remarkable job. Now, of course, I did have some skepticism about him, especially since, he did really good with the Astros, and then, hey, it turned out they cheated. So, when I heard that he got hired by Detroit, I was very hopeful that they would better keep a watchful eye on him. Don't want any cheating whatsoever, I was very happy when the Tigers when Ron Gardenhire went away. He was not good with Detroit at all. We were terrible with him. In 2017 and 2018, we had like 98 losses. And in 2019, lose 114 games. 2020 was a shortened year because of COVID, and they went like 23-35, which isn't terrible. Did better than the Red Sox, which is surprising. And then he goes away, and then we hire A.J. Hinch, and he's been doing pretty good. Now, if you were to tell me back in April that we would almost have a 500 record, I would laugh in your face. The Tigers had a very abysmal April. They started out 8-24. I was expecting, oh boy, here we go, another 100-loss season. But that is not what's going to happen. The Tigers have really turned it around. Are they going to make the postseason? No way. Because the Tigers right now are about 11.5 games behind for the wild card spot because Boston and Oakland have it right now. And they're both really far up. So I don't see us making the playoffs this season. But boy, there sure is optimism for the next few years. Finally, something for Tigers fans to be excited for. I really hope this year just wasn't a fluke. I really hope that, we did decent this year. The next year we lose 100 games again. This season, after the Tigers defeated the Orioles earlier last week, the Tigers got their 9th sweep of the season. From 2017 to 2020, they only had a total of 7. And they just got their 9th sweep this season. They only had a total of 7 the last 4 years. That shows you how turned around this team is. I'm not expecting us to go back to winning the AL Central every year like they did a decade ago and going far in the postseason every year like they did a decade ago soon. But boy, we sure finally do have some optimism I mean, of course, they did lose a couple in a row. They lost 11-0 a couple days ago, and then they lost 8-2 today to the Angels. So, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'll try to make a Tigers video once a week explaining the games that happen, like blah, blah, blah. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Please let me know in the comments how you feel about me making videos about the Tigers. I've never done it before, so just let me know how you feel. And let me know if I should still do it or whatever. Give me feedback. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later.